All right, so I had this dream. In the dream, I'm like sitting on these stairs, and I can tell that I'm like up in the sky, like from like an airplane view, and I'm sitting in the middle of the staircase, and I'm pulling up these huge black chains. These chains are so long that I have to, when I tried to drag them up the stairs to begin with, they kept getting caught on the door. So I had to like wrap the chains around like the bars on the top of the building and then through the little window and then to me as I'm up on the staircase trying to drag them up. Also, on the railing of the staircase, I have a friend on one side and a friend on the other side, and they're just hanging on to the railings. And they're kind of like watching me pull these chains up. So as I'm sitting there, I hear like a door behind me, and I already know who it is. It's like one of my friend's moms coming out. I guess she's going to work or whatever. And I'm kind of like, like, I don't want to move. She sees me here, sitting here. You know what? She knows. Like, and I guess in the dream, I'm supposed to be like a younger child. Obviously we're having a good time and she can just walk around me and it's fine. And so she kind of, I don't scoot out of the way at all. She walks around me and is very sweet and just kind of like laughing and just seeing that we're just playing and having fun. She walks to the door of the building, and I know the chains I have are like wrapped all around the bars and are like coming up the stairs and are just all tangled in there. And so I tell her, "Don't hurt yourself." And she looks back at me with the most loving, caring, I can't even explain, like and she tells me, "Honey, the only one you're gonna hurt is yourself." And I knew, I was like, "What? That was weird." I guess I was so caught off guard with how loving the look was and how, like, even when I woke up, I knew, I was like, no, she did not mean anything rude by that. I just can't believe how sweet she was being. And even though I was being so ugly to her. So anyway, um, this dream kind of sticks in my head for a while, and I realize, like, dang, it's basically me trying to get up to heaven, and I'm dragging these big old chains, thinking, oh, I'm gonna get up there. So sometimes I like to listen to like heaven testimonies or hell testimonies. They're wild to listen to. Well, a few of the heaven testimonies that I've heard, or just ones where they've met Jesus. After listening to a couple, I kind of felt a little jealous, and I was like, Jesus, how come I haven't met you? I feel like we're very close. I would love to see you, and just feeling a little jealous. And and then I have this sense of God's like, are you sure you haven't like met me? And also like the sense of like, so first of all of the things that you've just watched where these people have met me, they all had to die to meet me and then come back. And it was like, oh, that's true. Oh my gosh. So I was able to let that go. And then there was one testimony that I had listened to, and the way that she described Jesus, I knew in that moment that the woman that had walked down the stairs past me, I knew that it was Jesus. And I was like, I knew, like, I had that flash in my head, because after I had told him, like, how come I haven't like got to see you or anything like that? I feel like we're close. And him kind of telling me like, oh, are you sure? And having like seeing her turn and say, honey, the only one you're going to hurt is yourself. That extreme loving care, it's I can guarantee you that in this lifetime you have not been looked at like that by any human probably since you were like 5 years old. Like, just that extreme love, like, you are gonna hurt yourself, don't you worry, I'm not gonna let it happen, but you listen. I can't even, it's hard to describe, just so much love. And so I realized in that moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was you. It was you that walked past me. And I knew, like, oh my gosh, you were trying to, like, you were trying to tell me like these chains you're trying to drag up, you're not going to make it. So you can just let them go. Let me let me take these chains for you, please. And so it was a big eye opener. But one thing that I love is that every time I've revisited the dream or had a question, sometimes just anything, God has used that dream. Like it'll pop up and it's crazy. So one instance was I was at the grocery store. There was this woman. I was driving down and I see this parking spot, and it's the first spot after the handicap, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm about to get that. And this woman comes and she's there with her kid and her husband. Her husband starts putting the groceries into the trunk, and she's about to get into her car. She sees me there, like, I'm just gonna patiently wait here for y'all to finish. You're gonna get in your car anyway. Your husband's in the trunk area, like by the trunk area. I could easily slip in and park. Well, she sees me and is just kind of like takes her time, tie my shoe. She didn't literally tie her shoe, but it was like, really, you're gonna act like this, and just because you know that I want the spot, like, what do you own the spot? Ugh, I was just letting myself get very frustrated, and so a lot of times I find myself like, okay, God, what do I do here? As I'm trying to give him a lot of my anger and stuff, and the dream comes back into my head, and it's like, remember whenever I tried to walk past you on the stairs and you didn't move out of the way or anything? I mean, you didn't know it was me, but it doesn't matter at all. You was somebody that you knew, your friend's mom, and all you could think was, she knows we're playing. She can walk around, and irritated that I even walked by, and it was like, oh my gosh. And it was like, and it was you, and but even though he's like, that doesn't matter, you did that to another person, and you have the audacity to sit here because this is and it was just like, oh gosh, humbled my ass so freaking quick. And I was definitely like, thank you, Lord, thank you for showing me that, thank you for bringing me back to where I need to be. And so yeah. So the other thing that he shows me in the dream is I ask him, as I'm like thinking about the dream again, I'm like, you know what? It's weird. Why did you appear as that woman? Like this particular woman. I've never looked at her in the best light. Even though she was always extremely kind to me, the fact that she let her daughter go through so much abuse, and the fact that she could have changed it, um it just made me view this woman in a very ugly way, and made me think like, you don't live up to that those parenting standards that I have. And God, being like, there's a reason why I appeared as this woman. This is like hate that you have in your heart from childhood, a woman you haven't talked to in 20 years, and just the thought of her, when you see her pass by your Facebook, you just have ugliness pop up in you. And that's something that we have to be able to work through. And he also showed me, like, I understand that this event impacted you as well, and you were just a young girl seeing your best friend go through these horrible things, knowing that the adult in her life should have protected her, and they weren't there for her. They chose the wrong thing. It affected you. You were young, you didn't know how to deal with it. But let's look at it now, and the things that you do know now. And so him showing me, like, now you also know Brenda as an adult, and you know that her and her mother were able to get through these issues together. It took a lot, but that was something that they were able to heal through, and get through, and that was big. And here you are still holding this gigantic chain of hate for her. And why? And kind of telling me that, like, Brenda's gotten the apology that she needed from her mother, and showing me, like, now that they have healed from this and they are continuing to heal from this, how can I help you heal from this and take away that disgust and anger in your heart, something that's holding you back. It's just one little link on your chain. Think of how many other links that are exactly like this that are holding you back. And so, and him kind of just explaining to me, like, so what do you think would help you heal? Do you think that Brenda's mom owes you an apology? And it's like, no, like obviously that's none of my business, and she probably doesn't even know that I know, and that I'm holding this hate for her because she's always been nothing but nice to my face. I'm judging her purely on not being a good mother, you know? So, and so, especially when it was like, okay, obviously I'm not going to get an apology and I clearly don't deserve one, you know? And so it was just kind of, then I felt like, oh gosh, I feel like I'm in their business, you know? And then so him kind of like, okay, so how can we break this chain, you know? And there's like so many of these chains on your stream here. And so me being able to look at it and just kind of like, oh my gosh. And then him also showing me like we have no idea what Brenda's mom went through as a child. And we also don't know that Brenda's mom could be 10 times better than the mother that she had. And then in Brenda's mom's head, she thought she was doing great and still providing a roof over her children's heads and, you know, whatever. Who knows what Brenda's mom thought. And so him just trying to be able to help take that chain, like if you're not, you have to be able to give it to me. And if you're just going, no, I know what's best, and I know the standards for a parent, so I will, you know, it doesn't help anything. And so after that talk, it was like, man, it's only hurting me. And it was like that's exactly what he said with the chains. Like, honey, the only one you're gonna hurt is yourself. And so it's like, even though she was going downstairs and I thought my chain was gonna like, you know, whip all around and like accidentally hit her or whatever the heck I thought, you know. And it was like me holding on to this huge chain of hate for her and me treating her like she doesn't deserve love or whatever, walking down the stairs, and me holding on to that resentment, you know. It's literally only hurting me, and it's one more chain that's dragging me down and not letting me get up to heaven, you know. And so that is all that I can remember right now that I've gotten from the dream. um but it was pretty impactful, and I do feel like God wanted me to share this with the world, I guess. And then kind of give you like a little animation to kind of have a picture in your head, you know. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you.